Hey everyone, welcome to the Mind of Ro page. Today I am going to talk about some crossroad deities, or in other words, doorkeepers. I've had a couple people who asked me about them, so I'm going to make a video about them. So this one is particularly about Kemetic gods, or in other words, Egyptian gods, or what we would actually call, what the ancient Kemetians called the Neteru. So this video is going to be about Anpu, or in other words, you know him as Anubis, and I'm also going to talk about Sobek. So this is Anpu that you're looking at right now. He is a Neteru of mummification, the afterlife, and he's also the patron of lost souls and the helpless. He is seen with a jackal head, and he is associated with the colors yellow and black, or gold and black. He's also associated with the number 3. That's just because pretty much all crossroad deities and all crossroad or all doorkeeper deities are associated with the number 3 or the number 4. So what I mean by associated with the number 3 is that if you're going to give offers to any crossroad or doorkeepers, they would usually like them to be given in 3s. So food that Anpu or Anubis likes is palm oil, onions, garlic, and black licorice. So this right here, you're looking at my specific Anpu likes cigars. I can't say that your Anpu will, but I'm going to suppose since the one I speak to likes cigars, they all like cigars. It's typical for a lot of crossroad deities or doorkeepers to like cigars and also rum. But just to let you know, Anpu does not like rum, so please don't offer him rum. Like I said earlier, he's a gateway keeper and a crossroad deity. He actually works very close with the Neteru Ma'at. I made a video recently about Ma'at. She weighs your heart against a feather. He works right next to her. And what he does is he weighs your body parts against Ma'at's feather. Here's her feather right here. Her feather is usually seen in all her images as a feather, an ostrich feather. As you notice, ostrich feathers are very, very light. So let me explain to you what I've learned from Anpu. No, I'm about to give you some information that I learned from him, and I didn't read out of a book, and I didn't read it offline. So according to what Anpu does, is when you pass away, or he could actually do this while you're alive as well. You could meditate and talk to him while you're still alive. But what he does is he sees sickness within your body. So the more imbalances, the more mental and emotional pain that you hold within yourself, you actually carry it within your body. As you notice, there are a lot of patterns in our sickness. If we hold on to a lot of pain in our heart, you know, some people who's been through divorces, they tend to have heart problems, or anything that has to do with any heartbreak. People tend to hold a lot of pain in their heart, so they'll have heart issues. Or other examples, a lot of people hold a lot of emotional pain in their thighs or in their reproductive organs. So what he does is he sees all the heaviness within your body. Therefore, the more health problems you have, the more heaviness you have been holding within your body. So he sees that. So when you pass away, what he does is he'll take your body parts and he'll weigh it against Ma'at's feather to see what heaviness you hold within your body. So if your lungs feel heavy or if your heart feels heavy, he sees what imbalances or what pain or what regret or what resentment you hold within yourself. So the heavier your body parts are when you die, the heavier your heart is as well. So this is what Anpu does. I remember I just said that I learned this from meditating on him and not reading this out of a book, but I'm pretty sure that if you were to look this up, it's pretty accurate. And that's what the concept of Anpu is. So I'm sure you're asking, well, why would I want to invoke Anpu? The reason why you want to invoke him is because we all have health issues. A lot of us think we're perfectly healthy, and just because we're not in the wheelchair or just because we don't have any major illnesses, we have some kind of imbalance within our body. So the reason why you would want to invoke Anpu is to ask him What illness do we have in our body, and what heaviness do we have in our physical body? What is it attached to? So disease is dis-ease. So what this means, it is all diseases that we have, or all sicknesses or heaviness we have within our physical body, is manifested within the astral realm before it is manifested into the physical realm. Therefore, what he will do, if you were to invoke him and speak to him, he will explain to you why you have heart problems, why you have breathing problems, why you ended up hurting yourself and ended up in a wheelchair, or why you were even born with multiple health problems. He will explain to you what energy you're holding within yourself to cause these ailments or disturbances within your physical body. And he could actually give you advice on how to heal it. He could tell you if you need to let go of resentment in regards to people you feel resent for, or if there's maybe a past life experience that you need to either live out or you need to let go of. It depends on where your soul contract is at the time, or where you agree with soulfully. He will also help you how to heal in regards to herbs. He'll tell you what to eat to heal certain body parts. So that's why you would want to talk to him. And also, a lot of crossroad deities and doorkeepers are known to be warrior spirits. When I say warrior spirits, I mean they are good at invoking to protect you. They open and close doors, as in they could open a door of success for you. So let's say you're trying to nail a job, but for some reason the doorways to your success, to doors you want to open in regards to a job or business or money, is held by doorkeepers and crossroad deities. Therefore, this is why you would invoke Anpu or Sobek or Eshu or Papa Legba. These are names of doorkeepers or crossroad deities, because they could open these doors for you. They could actually let you know why these doors are not opening, and 100% of the time it's because of something that you are doing incorrect, and you need to correct it somehow, or some kind of soul agreement that you have, and why these doors are not opening for you. It could either be a negative thing, it could be because maybe you're doing something wrong and they feel like the door doesn't deserve to be open for you, or it could be a positive thing. You could be meant to do something else, and they're trying to lead you in another direction. So the reason why you talk to these deities is to find out why these doors are being closed, and if they could open them for you, and what you can do for not only for yourself and for your own imbalances or balances, but also for them, and what you could do for them to open these doors for you. So some of my personal experience with Anpu is know that if you were to actively invoke them, know that's not very easy to invoke Neterus or Neterus, because they're very ascended beings and only certain people can invoke them. But if you were to be gifted enough person to be able to invoke a being like Anpu here, his energy or his portal he comes through is very, very heavy. It's kind of like that feeling that you get after you've been crying for a whole day and you feel that really heavy. It literally feels like something is pushing you down. Not saying this is a negative thing. Portals have energy. Every single portal has a different specific energy, and as a human being, we're used to specific energies within our own portals that we're in, which is the third dimension we're in now. So when another portal, energetic portal opens, we tend to not be used to those energies, so it tends to feel a type of way. So Anpu's particular portal he comes to tends to feel very, very heavy, and it's normal to feel that way. If you were to invoke this being, it's normal to feel heavy. It's nothing bad, it's nothing wrong, there's nothing going on with you. Something that I realized that what you can do is actually giving him something white. This is something you should probably divine on, and it kind of lightens up that energy a little bit. Or you could basically just ask him to just shut the door and leave. Not, of course you want to say it respectfully, but just to let you know, this is a warning that his energy can feel very heavy if you were to invoke him, if you were to speak to him on a common and in a very consistent basis. So this is one of the reasons why you don't always want to invoke him, because you don't want to feel that way all the time. Another thing to know about him as well is because I said earlier he's a patron of lost souls and the helpless, is that he protects people. He protects people who can't help themselves, and even people who are not even mindful of work like this. He's there to protect those people or those beings. But he's also known to not only be a very kind of loving spirit to come around, even though his image can look very intimidating. he could actually be a little scary sometimes. He is no, I've heard a story of him coming to people's dreams that he's chased people, because if he's trying to warn you something, say, hey, you're not supposed to be doing this, or you're with the wrong person, or you're doing the wrong thing, you're working the wrong job, he'll show up in your dreams and he'll let you know, and he'll do everything he can to try to chase you away from whatever it is that you're not supposed to be doing. And it's not because he's evil. It's not because he's a demon or anything. And a lot of people like to demonize crossroad deities. It's because the best way to get your attention is to pretty much shake you up a little bit. And if he's giving you lightful, nice answers and you're not listening, he is known to come to your dreams and he'll let you know. And he does appear as a black dog or a jackal. This skull you're looking at right here, I have this for his altar. This is actually a coyote. I got it at the Mysterious Shop, the famous Mysterious Shop in Seattle. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. And if not, you could Google it in Seattle. It's one of the major tourist spots. That's where I got this skull. Any skull that has to do with a dog. Of course, a jackal would work better. Coyote, wolf, any kind of dog skull would work good for his altar. Also, even a coconut, like so. I can show you a little image of the coconut. This is not for Anpu. This coconut right here is actually for my personal Papa Legba. But you could do the same thing for his altar as well if you don't want to use like a skull, like the one that you've seen in front of you right now. You could also just use a coconut and paint the coconut his colors, which would be like yellow and black or golden black. It's whatever is up to you. But no, if you were to have an altar, you would need to feed him the food that I just listed above and give him plates and candles that are associated with his colors. So as you can see, I have a black bowl right here, and I also have a yellow candle. And when you feed him, you would give him food in there. Or sometimes a being like this will ask for things to be poured onto the skull or on the coconut to consecrate it, to give it more energy. So if you see there's something on there, what that is actually palm oil right there to help consecrate or give the skull some more energy for him to feed off of. So some more experience that I have with him, something that he taught me, because he likes to protect people, and he's actually could close doors to toxic people in your life. That's what's great about Anpu, is he'll shut doors. If you're like, hey man, I'm trying to live a hopeful life and I have disturbing people trying to disturb my peace, a great way to get protected is having crossroad deities protect you and block you. I'm sure you've seen a lot of crossroad deities, or Egyptian ones or Kemetic ones specifically, wearing or holding swords or arrows or some kind of war, or like a spear, something in their hand, because whatever it represents is protection and warrior spirit energy. So he could actually protect you from toxic people. And something that he's actually told me in meditation is, so it's because he likes garlic. What I did was I offered him garlic, and the next day when I woke up, I actually put a piece of his garlic into my smoothie. And then what I did was I pretty much put his energy into me, so I was protected from a lot of toxic energy that's going on. So there's a lot of toxic energy going around. I'm in Seattle right now. There's a lot of toxic energy going on in Seattle right now, and there's a lot of people shooting, there's a lot of people rioting and acting crazy. So what this actually did was protect any of that toxic energy to come anywhere near me. For example, if I'm going to walk to the coffee shop, because Anpu is with me, that energy will actually separate me from whatever toxic energy is happening within the city. And that's why I drink the garlic that he told me to drink. And what's crazy is when I drink it, and I had actually shared it with somebody else, he was like, man, I feel really energetic. That's what it'll do, is you can feel really energetic and you can feel really protected. You don't have to worry about anybody coming to bother you when you work a lot with crossroad deities. So I'm going to move on. What I'm doing is I'm doing just some basic information on Neteru crossroad deities. I'm not going to go into a bunch of history on it. This isn't a historical class. This is actually more like occult knowledge or mystic knowledge. So I'm not going to go in and tell you exactly like everything about their history and why they where they started from and all that kind of stuff. I'm just giving you some basics, all right, and how to work with them at home on your own. So the next one I'm actually going to talk about is Sobek. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of Sobek. As you can see, I have an alligator head right here. He is seen with an alligator head. He's associated with the colors red and black. And because he's a crossroad deity and doorkeeper, he's also associated with the number 3. He is known as the Lord of the Waters. He's associated with power, fertility, militant energy, And he's also invoked for protection. He's obviously seen with an alligator head. You'll typically not seen with another head unless there's any other history that I'm not aware of. But majority of the time you see any alligator heads with deities, it's usually him, unless there's also another deity that's mixed with a lion and a alligator. Don't mix the two up. That's a different deity. So he likes palm oil, water, and oregano oil, and he also likes rum. Sobek does not like cigars. I've asked him multiple times would he like a cigar to be offered to him, and he told me multiple times no. Just like my Aunt Pooh, I asked him multiple times if he likes rum, and Aunt Pooh said no. So know that a lot of crossroad deities tend to like palm oil, rum, and cigars, but please do not sum them all up into the same category, because some of them might like a little bit of some of it and some of them might not like all of it. So know that Sobek does not like cigars given to him. Certain beings you do not want to piss off are crossroad deities. They tend to be a little more temperamental than beings like Ma'at or Aset or Neteru. So know that crossroad deities tend to be a little short or a little irritated easily, so don't give them something they don't like, okay? So just like how I said earlier with Anpu, when you give him anything, you would like to give it to him in threes. But usually, Sobek, I don't give him a whole lot of solid food, so there's not anything you would need to give in threes other than the oil. That what I do is I drip some of this oil, and I would do it in threes. So I would do 1, 2, 3, and he typically likes to have it on his head or in his water. I actually ask him through divination to find out what he wants. Sometimes he wants it one way, sometimes he wants it another way. It just really depends on his mood. And obviously, because he's an alligator, it's pretty obvious on why he likes water. I always have water next to his altar at all times. This alligator head I actually got from the same place I got Anpu's head, from the mystery shop, the famous mystery shop in Seattle. You could find these over there. If there's any other places you get them, I don't know. I just know where I got mine. If you're not in Seattle, you could probably maybe even go on their website and get these if you want. Same thing as I said with Anpu. If you do not want to use an alligator head, if it bothers you or you can't get a hold of it, go ahead and get a coconut, just like the one that I just showed you earlier. Let me show it again. Show it to you guys again. Is a coconut. If you want to do the same thing, instead of getting a head, you could actually do it with a coconut as well and put it on a plate. So because he's associated with the colors red and black, I have a black plate for him, and I actually have a red candle here burning for him. Those are his colors. So when you have any candles or any plates for them, it's good to kind of work with their colors. It's kind of like just respecting them and respecting their energy. So he's, like I said before, he's also a gateway keeper and a crossroad deities. He's actually considered the guard of the immortal waters. What this means is you cannot ascend into a higher dimensional reality or a higher dimensional self until you are allowed to pass the immortal waters. What that means is you're going to have to pass through Sobek. So what he also represents is a lot of our deep and darkest fears that we have within ourselves. I know there's a lot of people have to say, I'm not scared of anything. Well, if you weren't, you wouldn't be here and you want to be human. We all fear something. And the number one thing that hides our fear is ego. So be very mindful of your ego, because Sobek loves to eat people with a lot of ego. When I say eat people, I mean cause chaos. If you have a lot of problems in your life, a lot of toxic people trying to fight with you, argue with you, even your neighbors are super toxic, nothing seems to go right, you tend to keep losing jobs, you can't get your hand on any money, you got robbed, somebody keeps stealing things from you, you tripped and fell on your face the other day. This is chaotic energy. What this means is there is a message that you are missing and you need to pay attention. Sobek runs, not saying he's the only one, there's a lot of deities who run the energy of chaos, but he is one of the major Neterus that's associated with the concept of chaos. So if you're dreaming and you go to sleep, right, and you have a dream about an alligator, what this means is Sobek's actually telling you, you either A, you have a lot of chaos in your life and you need to wake up and you need to fix it, or B, if your life is calm and then you have a dream about Sobek, it means chaos is about to come to you. So please be mindful if you ever dream about alligators. Sobek will speak to you by coming to you as an alligator. Please do not question, is this him or is it not? I feel like a person came to me and talked to me, but it wasn't an alligator. If it was not an alligator, it was not Sobek. So please know that Neterus do not confuse you at all. If Sobek wants you to know he's talking to you, he will show up as an alligator. He will not show up as a snake and confuse you. He will let you know I am trying to speak to you. If Anpu, or in other words, Anubis is trying to speak to you, he will come to you and he will look like a jackal. He will look like a black-headed dog. He will not come to you as a bird. If Ra is trying to speak to you, he will come to you as a bird. He's not going to come to you as a dog and trick you. They don't do that. If they come and speak to you, they want you to know that this is who is speaking to you. The reason why they do that is because each Neter, or all the Neteru, represents a specific energy, and they help you heal specific ways, and they communicate specific ways. So it would defeat the purpose of them approaching you as something else. So just know that if you get any kind of animals in your dream, they will definitely come to you as the way they prefer their self to manifest their self. For example, the reason why you were in the body that you have and the reason why you look the way you look is because you manifested that look. Now, I can't tell you why you manifested that look because that is your soul's choice, but you manifested the look that you have. You chose to look the way you look. Therefore, these beings do the same thing. So Sobek shows up as an alligator because that's what he chooses, that he wants to be manifested as. He wants to show himself as. And all the other Neteru or other Loas or Orishas as well. So why would you summon, or why would you invoke Sobek? The reason why you would invoke Sobek is because he can cause chaos. He can actually stop chaos as well. So if you have a lot of chaos happening, no, sometimes it can be Set, but one of the major ones you need to work with before you ever work with Set, I would advise you to not work with a being like Set until you have a lot of experience. But Sobek is going to be one of the first Neterus that you would want to work with in regards to chaos, because he is at the doorway, which is the closest realm to our realm. If you feel like you have a lot of chaos in your life, feeding Sobek is going to be the best way to calm that energy down. Because when I say Sobek is eating you, it means he's eating off your energy, which means you could be toxic. You could be doing toxic things, involved with toxic things, and because you're not mindful of it, he'll eat off that energy. So what you do is you give him something to eat so he will not eat off your energy. And this is not a demonic thing. It's not evil. It's not this. It is universal law. What you radiate is what you attract to yourself. And we need to take accountability for that and stop trying to blame the gods and stop trying to blame spirits or demons or whatever. Because to be honest, that's a very indoctrinated state of thinking. We need to understand that the reason why there's chaos in our life is because we need to see something that we are refusing to see and what we are refusing to wake up to. So when you have a lot of chaos in your life, it's time for you to stop and think, what are the Orishas or what are the Neteru or what are my ancestors or any higher dimensional beings or any beings trying to tell me? What am I trying to tell myself by creating this nonsense in my life or allowing it or being involved in it or attracting that energy to me? These are questions we need to ask ourselves. So I'm just going to give you a little advice if you want to stop some chaos in your life is you're going to go to the crossroads, and this is not only just for Sobek, you could actually do this for Anpu as well. You're going to go to the crossroads, and you want to go to a crossroads with a 4-way stop, not a 3-way stop. The reason why I do not want you to go to a 3-way stop, and why it's not good, is because 3-way stops actually represent witch energy or wizard energy, and that's not what you want. You want to go through a 4-way stop. It's an even number. It's complete balance. It is alafia, which is positive, which is light and dark, and that's actually a good thing within the universe because that's what the universe is made of, is balance. So you want to go to a 4-way stop, and you're going to go to one of the corners, or you could go in the middle. Some stops have like a roundabout. You can go in the middle if you want, but if it doesn't have a roundabout, don't stand in the middle of the road and get run over. Just go to the corner. Whatever your higher self tells you which corner speaks to you the most, go to that one. And you're going to leave the offers that I just listed earlier in the video that these specific beings like. And you're going to say, for example, let's just say, for example, if there's something happening in my life, and I don't want, let's say there's some chaos. So I had a dream recently with Sobek, and I actually divided and I asked Sobek, is there a chaos on the way over? And he basically said yes. So what I did was I offered him rum, and I said, Sobek, can you please keep away chaos? Can you keep chaos far away from me? And I divined with these shells. And I have another video of how to divine and how to speak to crossroad deities, and I could actually tag this video with that video when I'm done with this video, to so you know how to communicate. And he just only asked for rum. Sometimes they'll ask for more, sometimes they won't. It just depends on, the scenario, depends on how heavy the energy is that you're trying to deal with. So I just gave him rum, and since then I haven't seen any chaos come towards me. So or if there's chaos happening in your life now, this is a thing you could do as well, is you could go to the crossroad deities and you could either ask Sobek to please stop the chaos, or you could ask Anpu to close that door to chaos, or you could also ask Anpu, can you help me understand why this chaos is being brought to me? What is it that I need to know that I'm not seeing, that I'm not understanding? Because a lot of times we get distracted, we get so caught up in the chaos that we're only focused on that, and we're not focused on why it's happening in the first place. So talking to these crossroad deities, Anpu or Sobek, you could actually basically ask them. And something that you'll notice too is when you give crossroad deities offers for clarity, is you'll all of a sudden know why it's happening. You'll either dream of it, some random stranger could even come up to you and answer the question for you. It's amazing. It's really weird. And then they'll be wearing their colors, which is cool. So like if you ask Sobek, why is this chaos happening? Some random person could come up to you wearing red and black and answer your question. It's pretty magical how these deities work. They will get the answer to you. All you got to do is leave them off at the crossroads and ask them, why is this happening? Or can you please close the door? But you need to be realistic, okay? So if you're going through a lot of things, you can't expect certain things to stop. Like for example, you can't just go to the crossroads and ask Sobek and Anpu, can you stop the coronavirus? That's unrealistic. You know what I mean? So like if you go to the crossroads, just be realistic in what you're offering to them and what you're asking of them. And learning how to ask questions through like shells or through pennies. I could tag you guys, tag this video with a couple of videos on how to communicate with pennies as well, to figure out what they want for your request that you're asking. Let's see. Another warning, I'm going to give you a little warning about Sobek, is don't demonize Sobek, because the more you demonize him, the more he's going to come fuck with you, and that's not what you want. So society, and especially the church, has demonized anything that's not light and blah, blah, blah. But I'm not going to get too into that. So the more you demonize, put down, or disrespect crossroad deities, the more doors will be closed to you. Which means the more life problems, the more even psychological issues, because they tend to dwell in psychological energy as well, because they are right next to our dimension, that they could actually cause or stop confusion. So if you demonize them, if you fear them or disrespect them or put them down in any way, just because you don't know they're around, they can hear you. So just be mindful of that, because I'm going to give you some deep shit right quick. I'm not going to get too much into it. The reason why the church and a lot of dogma has demonized beings like this is because these are the first beings that you meet and come in contact with when you pass away. These are also the first beings that you come into contact with when you ascend, and they're the first beings you come into contact with you contact the other side, as in speaking to non-physical beings. These are the first beings you need to seek approval from. And the reason why the church and dogma has demonized these beings is because if you fear the realm next to ours, which is the crossroads realm, which is the ether, then you're basically just soulfully cut off from spirit. And if you're cut off from spirit, and you're cut off from the messages you could get from the divine, and the message you could get from the crossroads or any non-physical beings, you're basically imprisoned into this dimension and into this world. And I know a lot of you people who are watching this know what I'm talking about. It feels like a prison. And the reason why it can is because we've been cut off from spirit. And these are the first beings that we come into contact with when we cross over. There's no denying it. There is no running from it. No matter how much you're scared of it, you have to go through the crossroads. If you ever see people who's passed away that you love passed away come to speak to you, they're speaking to you from the crossroads. They have, even if they're ascended, they have to go through the crossroads to be able to come speak to you. We are in the third dimension. Therefore, if a being tries to speak to you from the ninth dimension, they have to go all the way to 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 to come speak to you. So this is why a lot of this stuff's been demonized, is because that's the doorway. I mean, you can't be free unless you learn how to go to the doorway. And a lot of these beings that hold on to the doors, or the crossroad deities, are the beings that we have been taught to demonize and fear. Don't fear them. Anpu can be a little scary sometimes if you have a dog chasing you, but he actually protects a lot of people who really need protection. Out of them both, Sobek could be a little more scary. I'm sure you've heard of the concept of reptilians. And Sobek is because he's an agator, he's considered a reptile. So a lot of people tend to fear Sobek, but please know that all this reptilian stuff, I'm not saying it's not real, because I do believe in other dimensional beings and stuff like that. But please don't throw in Sobek into the box of whatever all the internet and media propaganda is talking about in regards to reptilians and controlling the government and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. There isn't. That's a totally different conversation. But just don't put Sobek in that category. And the reason why you don't is because he's the one who opens and closes doors for you, and he should not be demonized. And he will actually help you a lot. He'll actually protect you from a lot of toxic people that don't want to be in your life, and he'll actually teach you a lot of things and teach you and tell you why you keep attracting chaos to your life. So befriend crossroad deities, and if you learn to befriend crossroad deities, they'll actually open up a lot of doors for you, and I mean a lot. I mean, you could win the lottery, you could speak to your grandma that passed away much easier. I mean, all kinds of things. I'm not saying that every single soul's purpose is to be able to do these couple of things. I'm just saying that these beings are the ones that open and close these doorways. So just be mindful of being indoctrinated in regards to fearing beings like this. It doesn't serve anybody to fear the unknown. So something that I also know is what you fear is basically something that you're ignorant on. So just be mindful of that. Here's something to know if they're around. So obviously, if you see an alligator or a black dog talking to you, obviously that's them. But here are some other subtle signs is you'll see a lot of people wearing black and red standing at crossroads. Or you could be pulled up to a red light and you'll see somebody wearing black and red crossing the street right in front of you, walking a dog. And these are actually little signs that Anpu's around. Or in other words, Anubis, whoever you want to call. I call him Anpu. That's his original African name, is Anpu. But, yeah, so they'll let you know if they're around. You just gotta pay attention. So when you start working with crossroad deities, learn that they're trying to contact you. Sometimes they're trying to give you a message. So if you keep seeing their colors and you keep seeing multiple signs that one of these beings are trying to contact you, it's best to sit down and meditate and find out what it is exactly what they're trying to say to you, or what it is exactly they're trying to warn you about. They're trying to let you know, and you just got to pay attention to subtle things. Is pay attention to colors at crossroads. When you're specifically at crossroads, four-way stops, be very mindful of what you see. So crossroad deity energy tends to attract people that tend to be crazy. And now, what I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but because crossroad deities, what they are is energy. So just crazy things will happen. Like let's say you're walking down the street and you're at the crossroads. A homeless person comes up to you and he's completely drunk, and coincidentally you just gave Sobek a bunch of alcohol. This happens. And this person sounds completely crazy. He's mumbling over his words, but he tells you something so freaking smart. You're like, how could this person be so smart but be living out the streets? That's the type of energy that crossroad deities have. So be mindful of that. Do not judge crazy people who will come up and talk to you, because these beings will talk to you through people who have those types of energy. And it's also a way to test you and see where your heart is at. So know when people come up and talk to you, even if they consider it crazy, even if they're on crack or heroin, people are all over the streets, do not judge these people. Respect them, because a lot of times they will send you the most craziest person to answer a question that you've been asking, or to just let you know that they're near and they got your back and they heard your prayers, or they heard your wishes, or heard the conversation you had with them. They'll let you know. So just be mindful of that, and know that every single person who ever works with Crossroad Deities comes in contact with these type of people who will just approach them and say crazy but very mystical, smart knowledge to them, that if you do this and you end up making a lot of offers to these deities and you experience them, please shoot me a message. It's pretty cool. It happens to everybody. Just be mindful of it. There's no more information I have in regards to Anpu and Sobek right now. I just want to give you guys some basics. If you have any more questions, not only in regards to these specific deities or Neteru, but any other ones, please let me know. And know that I actually work more with the Neteru, which is Egyptian, or in other words, Kemetic gods, and Orishas and Loa spirits. If you are curious with any of those spirits and you want me to make a video for them, or if you have any questions in regards to them, shoot me a message or let me know and I'll make a video. And I don't do stuff like Greek gods, and I have my reasons why. I'm not going to get into that right now. But if you have any questions in regards to the other ones that I just mentioned, let me know. I'll make a video. I'll give you some info. And please subscribe to my channel. I will share a link with this video. I just started my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get up to at least 1,000, because that's when we start getting paid. Woo! YouTube starts paying me eventually. So subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know when I have a new video popping up. I also got TikTok and Twitter and Instagram and all that kind of stuff, and I'll share that with the video as well. Please show me support and share my video. I hope everybody has a wonderful, safe day. If you have any experience with these Crossroad Deities after this video, please let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear your stories. Hotep and namaste.